Hello and welcome to Railade Bingo. To register for the bingo evening, you'll need to visit mrq.com/Railade and follow the instructions to sign up and make a deposit. It's important to do this ahead of the night as the verification process may take some time. Once you are registered, you can buy tickets for the first game by clicking the Bingo tab and selecting the Railade logo. It's as simple as that. On the night, you can follow the live feed on YouTube through the link in your email, but remember, you must be logged in and following the games at mrq.com in order to play and buy tickets for each game. Please remember, this is a licensed gambling website and you must be 18 or over to play. On behalf of the Railade team, thanks for getting involved and we look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November. Hello and welcome to Railade Bingo. To register for the bingo evening, you'll need to visit mrq.com/Railade and follow the instructions to sign up and make a deposit. It's important to do this ahead of the night as the verification process may take some time. Once you are registered, you can buy tickets for the first game by clicking the Bingo tab and selecting the Railade logo. It's as simple as that. On the night, you can follow the live feed on YouTube through the link in your email, but remember, you must be logged in and following the games at mrq.com in order to play and buy tickets for each game. Please remember, this is a licensed gambling website and you must be 18 or over to play. On behalf of the Railade team, thanks for getting involved and we look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November. Hello and welcome to Rail Aid Bingo. To register for the bingo evening, you'll need to visit mrq.com/railaid and follow the instructions to sign up and make a deposit. It's important to do this ahead of the night as the verification process may take some time. Once you are registered, you can buy tickets for the first game by clicking the Bingo tab and selecting the Rail Aid logo. It's as simple as that. On the night, you can follow the live feed on YouTube through the link in your email, but remember, you must be logged in and following the games at mrq.com in order to play and buy tickets for each game. Please remember, this is a licensed gambling website and you must be 18 or over to play. On behalf of the Rail Aid team, thanks for getting involved and we look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November. Hello and welcome to Rail Aid Bingo. To register for the bingo evening, you'll need to visit mrq.com/railaid and follow the instructions to sign up and make a deposit. It's important to do this ahead of the night as the verification process may take some time. Once you are registered, you can buy tickets for the first game by clicking the Bingo tab and selecting the Rail Aid logo. It's as simple as that. On the night, you can follow the live feed on YouTube through the link in your email, but remember, you must be logged in and following the games at mrq.com in order to play and buy tickets for each game. Please remember, this is a licensed gambling website and you must be 18 or over to play. On behalf of the Rail Aid team, thanks for getting involved and we look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November. Hello and welcome to Rail-Aid Bingo. To register for the bingo evening, you'll need to visit mrq.com/Rail-Aid and follow the instructions to sign up and make a deposit. It's important to do this ahead of the night as the verification process may take some time. Once you're registered, you can buy tickets for the first game by clicking the Bingo tab and selecting the Rail-Aid logo. It's as simple as that. On the night, you can follow the live feed on YouTube through the link in your email, but remember, you must be logged in and following the games at mrq.com in order to play and buy tickets for each game. Please remember, this is a licensed gambling website and you must be 18 or over to play. On behalf of the Rail-Aid team, thanks for getting involved and we look forward to seeing you on the 24th of November.
And welcome to Rail-Aid Bingo, sponsored by STM Group. I'm Mary McLaughlin, I work for Railway Children and I'm here with our very special guest, Kelvin Fletcher. Kelvin, it's great to have you.
Hello Mary, it's great to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. So there's a few important points that I need to go through first of all. The first game will start at 7 p.m. and there'll be 10 games that'll start every 10 minutes.
I'm so excited for this.
We'll get to your bingo bit in a minute. The most important point is that you have to be registered on mrq.com to play along. So if you haven't already done so, just go to mrq.com/Rail-Aid and sign up now. All the money that you pay to play will be donated to Railway Children, thanks to Mr Q donating the room for free, and a huge thank you to STM Group for providing the cash prizes tonight. So on to the prizes. There'll be 3 winners per game. So if you get 1 line, you'll win £20. If you get 2 lines, you'll win £30. And if you get a full house, you'll win £50. And our final game of the evening, thanks to our lovely friends at AIM Tech, you will also win, if you get the full house, an iPad. So even more reason to play and stay till the end. There's no dabbers involved tonight. Is dabbers the right word?
Dabbers, yeah.
Dabbers, yeah. There's no dabbers involved.
Integral part of bingo, dabbers.
Yeah, well, there's none involved tonight, so it's all automatic. So that just means you can sit back, relax, listen to the chat and ask your questions to Kelvin. So you'll notice that there is a live chat box in the bingo, so that's where you can ask your questions. So I'll be checking those and we'll try and get through as many as we can. So ask away, don't be shy. We'll see how far Kelvin will go and how much he'll answer. I'm sure there'll be a fake 10 question in there somewhere. Also, if you've got any technical issues during the night, just pop your questions in there. The team from Mr Q will be on hand and they'll sort any issues out. So, before we get started, just one final reminder to remember to buy your tickets for each game before it starts. I'll give a quick reminder each time, but yeah, that's that. So, first things first, I believe you love bingo.
Yes.
And bingo's a big part of your Christmas.
And that's genuine, you know. I'm not just saying it because of tonight.
No, I know.
Yeah,
so
bingo is. I won't mention the brand. Bingo.
Okay.
Going forward, it'll be this.
Yes,
these guys, okay?
Mr. Cute. Yeah.
But no, it was. I guess started as a kid. I don't know. It was always a bit of a tradition. My nan and granddad. Sadly, my granddad's not with us anymore. But that was bingo was their thing.
Oh.
It represented so much for them. I think one, it was their Saturday night out. It was a bit of socialising, and I remember as a kid, my mum and dad waiting outside the bingo hall in Ashton, just outside Oldham, where I'm from, where I grew up. And my mum and dad would be there, we'd be in the back of the car, and as soon as my grandparents would come out of bingo, mum and dad would offload me and my little brother, and that was their little Saturday night out, I think. And that we, Nan and Grandad took us home, we stayed at my Nan and Grandad's. Yeah. So we knew that they'd been to bingo, and I used to call it the bingo smell, because my Nan would come out and she'd obviously put a perfume on, and she always had this really strong fragrant smell, and I always remember that as a kid. So it just takes me back immediately to that. And as we got a little bit older, we started playing at home with them, and every Christmas was the we had played home bingo. We had our little bingo game, I guess, and I was the caller. And I used to really get on my granddad's nerves because I used to call out the names and the numbers wrong purposely to try and wind them up.
Did
so I'd be like, we've got 2 and 1, 36. And I'd be like, is it 21 or 30? So my little brothers would find it funny, and Grandad wouldn't be happy. So bingo's great. And then after that, I started going to bingo halls with my nan.
Really?
And now that is obviously away from COVID.
Yeah.
It was at least once a month we go to a local bingo hall. I get chips and gravy. I'd sit down with her, and we do it the old-fashioned way. We get the dabber pens out, and she always wins. She's one of those people that always. You always get them bingo players that seem to win all the time. Yeah. That's my nan.
Oh.
So bingo's brilliant, great game, and it's weird that when you go to bingo halls, I don't know what it's like online, but there's a mixture of people playing. It's not just old people, is it?
Well, that's the thing. So when I was telling friends and family that I was doing this, the amount of people that were like, "Oh, I love bingo, totally into it." Yeah, it's one of those games that is like everyone can play it. You're not going to get any family arguments if you're playing it. Oh, did you ever get?
No, apart from me calling the names out, the numbers wrong. But it's that buzz, isn't it? That adrenaline. You need one number for a line or a house. And I can't. And then when somebody else gets it, you're like, oh, and you always have to. I needed one. And we have little, pull it. My granny used to say when you need one number.
Really?
So I know a few of the phrases.
Nice. Did you play for prizes?
No, we had no prizes at home. We just played for, I think, money. We were a bit of not really gambling family as such, but we'd all maybe put our £2 in or whatever it was. And you're playing for a £20 jackpot potentially, so it was big money. And then after the bingo, we played Chase the Ace.
Oh, okay.
That was our little card game.
Nice.
But for me, that's what Christmas represents: being with your family, your loved ones,
definitely.
and playing those sort of games.
So this year, do you think you'd be able to do it online, like Zoom call? Or,
I think so, depending on what Boris says. I think we're all at the mercy of these ever-changing guidelines. But naturally, one will do my best to adhere to the confusing guidelines. But online, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is, and
we've got used to it now, I guess.
Yeah.
Fab. So whilst everyone gets sorted, buys their tickets, I thought I'd had some questions ready.
Okay.
And I thought I'd start at the beginning with Emmerdale. So you can tell me if this is true or not. Obviously, you can't believe everything you read online. But I read that your character, Andy, was only going to be in 3 episodes of Emmerdale to begin with. And how long did you actually end up being in Emmerdale for?
That's correct. That was 3 episodes, which is quite common for serial dramas are ever evolving and changing, and characters are someone's creative's vision, I guess. He or she will have this idea about a character to come in to either instigate a storyline for somebody else or to provide a storyline for themselves. And it's a little bit of an unknown. The casting process happens, and the directors and the creators have an idea of what that character will look like or have a certain feel. Or maybe they don't know and they're just waiting to see what actors come in the room. Just testing it out. So as an actor, you turn up to the audition. And even now as a jobbing actor, as an adult, and going back to as a child, 9 times out of 10 you don't get the gig. And so you learn an aura of resilience quite early on. You know, to be thick-skinned, not take it personally, and no, so I think there was with a 3-episode part. The character came in as a bit of a tearaway. Was from an inner city. Was visiting Emmerdale farm,
Yeah.
and there was a little bit of a couple of scenes there with the farming family's son, Robert Sugden,
Yeah.
at the time, and that was it. So I read the script. I kind of got a bit of a bio about the character, and dare I say it, but I felt like I related instantly to the character because
really?
he was a tearaway. I wasn't a tearaway. I was a goody two shoes,
Right.
but I was from a rough area, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, I can kind of understand, and I don't know. I saw a lot of myself in the character.
Right.
Misunderstood
Yeah.
somewhat, and never kind of really given. Not that it's personal for me, but I could understand the character. It never really been given a fair shot of life.
Yeah.
The character had come from a broken home,
Yeah.
and you could tell that there was a really good core inside. You know, there's a good heart,
Yeah.
and he just made some poor choices,
Yeah.
which one could say understandably when
Absolutely.
So that I went filming, met Jack Sugden,
Yeah.
which was a bit starstruck.
I know. I was going to say, did you know the show? Had you watched it before?
We knew the show, yeah. We knew the show.
Yeah.
I guess everybody did. It was in
Yeah.
our living rooms quite often. We weren't massive fans of the show. We weren't really a big TV family.
But you just recognise those characters, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You know, your Jack Sugdens and your Zach Dingles, and and I guess it transfers across all the soaps. Brookside, the Corkills were.
Yeah.
Brookside was a big part of our household. We used to love watching Brookside.
Alright.
And then EastEnders with the Mitchells, I guess, and then obviously with Corrie, and there's so many iconic characters there.
Yeah.
So soaps, as I'm sure they still are now, the backbone of our society, really, in many ways. You know,
It's that comfort, isn't it? The comfort
Yeah.
of being. It's just gentle.
easy watching.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
dip in and out, and you kind of have an affection with the characters because they all represent somebody you probably know.
Exactly.
That we all know or maybe we don't, but we don't maybe know a Kane or
Yeah.
an Andy or whoever it might be. And
Yeah.
it was a 3 episode, and a couple of weeks in, and I got asked to go back a few months later, and then fast forward 19 and a half years, I was still there, and that's when I decided that. And it was a tough decision because it was an amazing job, but place I was very happy. But I wanted to spread my wings and try something new, so I decided to leave. I took a year out first.
Right.
I had a family, a little girl on the way, and I wanted to kind of fully enjoy the fruits of fatherhood, I guess.
Yeah, because those schedules must have been tough.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, intense. 5-6 days a week.
Wow.
But it was a good job.
Yeah.
A very cushy number, as my dad liked to call it. You're lucky you don't work for a living. Like you said, remind me all the time. But as I was, I guess, lucky enough to my passion as a kid. I used to love performing arts.
Right.
Pretending to be somebody else, drama, ad-lib, improvisations. At the Oldham Theatre Workshop, I started out with no proper training really. Just went to a local theatre group for a couple of years, and then I kind of learnt on the job because as a child actor I got cast in quite a few things early on, and I've never looked back. I'm 36 now. I guess I need to start thinking what I want to do when I'm older because I'm still winging it. But
well, you've wung it quite well so far. So
well, it's been alright. It's been I always do my best whatever I do, I guess. So it was a great part of my career was Emmerdale, but it's something that I very much feel like I've moved on now, and I'm keen to showcase my little skill set of playing another character, playing different genres, on different platforms, whether it's theatre or radio, whatever it might be, film, TV. I just want to explore a little bit more now.
Definitely. Just going back to his character, so that was one of the things when I was doing a bit of research was his backstory, and that really stood out to me. So his backstory really resonates with the kind of backstories that a lot of the children that we support in the UK have. So his dad was in Strangeways prison, he was adopted after being in a care home. So you said obviously you got the bio before you went and played him. Was that something that you kind of kept in mind when you were filming some of the scenes and doing some of the storylines when he was getting into trouble and he was suspended from school and that kind of thing?
Yeah, there was an element of I understood the situation. The creatives and the writers and whatnot had kind of painted this character and the scenes and the storyline, the backstory so well that when you're reading it, it made sense.
Yeah.
Now, I personally not been in that position. I'd never been in trouble. I'd never been knew anyone in prison.
Yeah.
I myself wasn't in trouble with the police on a regular basis or anything like that. I was a polar opposite to the character, but I guess the skill or the art of an actor is to you try and draw on your own experience, but try and imagine what it would be like. So, but you know, those sort of situations the character was in were real, and ultimately they were replicating someone else's life. You know, so there's a great honour with that. Even as a young kid myself.
Yeah, because you were how old were you when you started?
I was 12. Yeah, 12. But I kind of knew of the responsibility that when you're gifted these storylines, that your dad's in and out of prison and is being a bit abusive towards you, and you're just a young lad who wants to be loved. Ultimately, that's all he wanted, and he had no real structure around him. And then you can understand why he makes these abrupt, you know, reactions and whatnot. So the more I learned about the character, I guess the more I learned about myself and about, you know, younger people who are quite in as a fortunate position as I was, me personally. So, you know, that ability to always take into account what someone else is going through. You don't always
just
know.
empathise with them.
Yeah, empathy is, you know, and consideration. You know, if we're all a little bit more considerate and you know, willing to empathise, then you know, it'd be a lot easier for everybody, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Like you said, you were very young when you started. So what was that like? What was your first day like? And then what was it like growing up on set, basically, and surrounded by that Emmerdale family?
It was a joy, really, because in many ways it was a joy. It was a great joy to be able to work with these amazing actors who I'd seen on TV myself and kind of admired. And just to kind of do cool stuff. My character was a bit of a tearaway. And the amount of scenes where he was nicking a car or anything like that, you know, was just like so exciting. You almost felt like you was getting to live it in real life, but in a safe environment. So we'd filmed in some pretty rough estates in Leeds.
Number 54.
Oh,
That's the bingo.
The bingo started already. So yeah, there was, and as a young actor learning my craft, there was a real opportunity to pick up skills from everybody on set. I was always working with adults mostly. So as a young kid, I was kind of listening and seeing what I could pick up from them. Yeah. And then what was the other side of the spectrum, what was quite tough, was that I myself was going through a change, you know, from a young boy to a young man, going through my adolescence. Yeah. And my character was doing the same. So we'd have scenes where my character falls in love for the first time. And in real life, I might have been doing that, or having my first fight, or a first argument with your parents. So there were these things that my character was experiencing, and I was experiencing it in real life as well, and then having to go and
untangle
do it again on TV. So that was kind of weird to kind of do that. But you know, as an actor, I had this the inner confidence that when I was acting, I lost all of my inhibitions. I was playing a part, and I won't say I was a method actor, but in those moments when my character was upset and his heart was breaking, I gave it my all, you know, and a lot of people were able to, the amount of letters I used to get from people who were inside, who were, you know.
Really?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. With, you know, when my character was, as a young kid, and his dad was in and out of prison, there was one chap I used to write to quite a lot, you know, back and forth. Because back then, Twitter and things weren't a thing, and letters were, fan mail was a big thing. And for me, at weekends going home as a 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old lad, I'd go through my fan mail and letters of people saying lovely things about you, asking for an autograph, but mostly saying, you know, I've been watching this scene and it absolutely resonated. That happened with me. You know, me and my wife were having troubles and we ended up doing this, and they tell them, like, they open up to you, and it's just fascinating and really quite humbling, really, to know that somebody's, you know, reached out to you and given their account of their insight into life. And as my dad always tells me, everybody's got a story.
Exactly, definitely, and that must have really helped inspire you to go on, and the next storylines that you got, play them to really kind of get that reality out of it. Yeah,
because then you join on that little bit experience. You haven't experienced it yourself, but you know that somebody out there has kind of lived through that, and you know, that, I guess you draw on those sort of emotions and those little letters.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
So in terms of your storylines, obviously Andy got himself into quite a few scrapes over the years. Which was your favourite, do you think, to actually film and go through and play?
Favourite?
There was quite a few. He got into
there was
into a lot of situations.
I was always seen to be fighting all the time. My brother, me and Robert were fighting. Robert
was your
cat and dog. There was this one scene that was, I don't know if at the time I kind of understood the magnitude of what it represented, but an older character called Biff at the time, his character name is Stuart, the actor was called, and his character had just been diagnosed with, I think it was Huntington's disease. It was quite a tragic storyline. And coming to terms with that diagnosis, he was contemplating on taking his own life. And it was my character as a 13-year-old lad on his bike, being somewhere where he shouldn't be. He'd all been told not to venture off onto the viaduct and away from the farm. And he'd done exactly the one thing, and tooting along, being a bit of a tearaway. He sees this guy on the bridge about to take his own life, and my character just took it upon himself to say, you know, what's wrong? And this guy's saying, go away, you know, you're only a kid, you don't understand. And we have this scene, and I talk him round, and you know, it was an amazing scene, emotional scene, and my character's kind of reaching out saying, you don't have to do this, and people will be upset if you do this, and in that weird moment, I guess as an adult, he was thinking there was a purity in it, and a naivety that he just saw and thought maybe there is another way. And those things like that are so big.
Yeah, that must have been really emotionally draining for you at that age as well to do.
Yeah, you know, I didn't understand the complexity of the issue. You know, I gave what I thought was an honest performance, but I guess as an adult looking back, you know, especially when I guess we're all going through some sort of adversity now, you know, those sort of demons can creep in, and then looking back there as a child actor, I'd like to think that's what Emmerdale and I guess soaps are great for, because those moments there can be the catalyst for somebody's change. You know, definitely. For whatever, good or bad. You know, they can be on the wrong path, and they can watch a scene like that at 7 o'clock on TV, and that can be the catalyst to go and, you know, make a change. So definitely. You know, when you're honoured with those sort of storylines, as a child actor or as an adult, it's a huge privilege, really.
Yeah. Which was the storyline that you won your, is it best dramatic performance at the British Soap Awards?
Which one? I've won quite a few of those. I'm not joking. No, it was. Yeah, that was the first award. That was best dramatic performance. Yeah. That was, my dad had broke out of prison, and he'd robbed the post office, the local post office, and I found out, and the police were about to ambush him and come and find him, and I was keeping him safe and lying for him, and it just got too much, and he put all the burden on these young shoulders, and my character kind of broke and said, I can't do this for you anymore, you've done wrong, the person you've robbed off, I think my character's dad ended up killing him, so it was a really quite a tragic storyline. And it's too, you know, Dad, you've done the wrong thing here, and in that scene his dad shakes him and slaps him. And back then there were no health and safety. And I'd still do the same now, but I said to David Krellin, amazing actor, a beautiful person, and I said as a young, you know, David, it's all right, you can slap me if you want. And the director was like, no, I said, honestly, it's fine, we just do it, you know. And we did, and it was real. It was in that moment, and he slaps me, and it was a reaction, and that was a point where I go off in a flood of tears, but that was the end then of their relationship. And I won an award for it, so it was worth it. But you know, that night there was no kids categories back then, and I think I was up against Barbara Windsor.
Really?
So I won the award. I got up and I can't remember what I'd said in my speech, but that was a real moment for my career, I guess, because it really put me out there as I was a young 16-year-old actor. I looked about 10 years old. I looked so much younger.
I saw the pictures of you in your little suit.
But no, it was, you know, I remember that same night I was nominated for Best Actor as well, and it was down to a short list of 4 actors. It was myself, Ross Kemp, Dean Sullivan, who played Jimmy Corkill, I think, in Brookside. And there was another actor, I think it was, I can't remember the full actor's name. And I was just kind of in awe of everybody I was up against. And I didn't win the award, but just to kind of be amongst those.
What was
names.
It like to be there at the Soap Awards at that age? Was it a bit wild?
Yeah, you know, obviously I was a minor. I wasn't kind of partying like the adults were, so I certainly wasn't drinking or anything like that. But just exciting, you know, wearing a suit, taking mum and dad along.
The red carpet and all.
Yeah, you know, we'd never done anything like that. So from a working class family from Oldham to suddenly be mixing it with all these famous people, you know, kind of taught me 2 things very quickly. One, I felt like you know, I was very lucky to be there. But 2, you know, these were people who I admired, but they were no different to my mum and dad and to my next door neighbour. And yes, I value what they do and I admire what they do, but at the end of the day, we're all the same. And however special and glitzy it was, we're all just people. And it was that's, I guess, something that's always stuck with me.
Yeah. Fab. Right, let's have a look and see.
Eyes down, ready to play.
Yes, I think we've already had a game. Have we already had a game? We've already had a winner.
Have we had a game?
Yeah, we've had a winner. So we've had winners already. Sorry, we're too busy chatting away. So
I bet people are saying, never mind talking, let's just play bingo.
I know. Oh, so people are asking where you keep your awards.
Where I keep my awards.
Yeah. I know you've just moved house, haven't you? So
we're in the so at the minute they're in storage, but I'd kind of built up a lovely little cabinet.
Oh.
So I had a couple of soap awards in there, and there was a Michael Elliott award, a theatre award that I got as a kid.
Nice.
And obviously I added a couple of glitter balls to that this
yes.
year. So it's an hopefully an ever growing cabinet. And once I get settled in with a house move. They're going to take pride of place, I think. They were in the kitchen for a while. Yeah. Because kitchen's quite a spot where everybody kind of,
Eight.
Get out of the home.
Yeah.
So.
41.
Just kicked off, so
It's 36.
let's have a look. Oh, would you do I'm a Celeb?
That's one at the minute, isn't it? I don't know if I think it's a great show. Yeah. And I've had friends who have done it in the past and had an amazing experience. I don't know if I'd fancy eating some of those things though.
I think
it's 58.
Yeah.
78.
Strictly,
5.
That's the biggest thing at the moment.
11.
It's such a nice show. I think especially
85.
in the world, 60. It's a really nice show to be on. Now we know that you came in late last year, but just how long did you have between getting that call up and then the live show, that first live show?
My agent rang me and said, so I'd auditioned 3 times for Strictly.
Oh, really?
So for the 2 years previous, and for whatever reasons they didn't, things didn't work out. I think the first year I was busy on something else. The second year they, it wasn't quite right. Yeah. And then the third year, I think June, July, I'd auditioned, and they said I actually posted a picture a few weeks ago on Instagram of the original email that the producer sent me saying. Somebody represented the show. Yeah. That Kelvin was great, we liked him, but it's a no from us kind of thing, really? Which was fine. I get many no's, and that's I don't call it a rejection. It's simply redirection. I had to kind of tell myself that because I was getting so many no's. You have to try and make a positive out of it, and that was just one of many no's that I got. And so I've very much thought, third time lucky. It's a no. That ship sailed. They clearly, for whatever reason, it's not meant to be. And I'd move my focus on. I really wanted to do the show because I was a massive fan of the show. Like you say, it's a great, wholesome show, great for family, and just a lovely show to watch. And I'd always loved to do it, thinking, I'd love to learn to dance. I'd love to have a real crack at something and learn a new skill and seeing how I'd go. And it'd be a good chance for people to get to know me because they've only ever seen a character. I'm not my character, I'm a lot different. So... and I'd like to have a spray tan and put those sequins on. So I've always wanted to do it, and for whatever reason, it never worked out. Yeah. And fast forward about a month or so afterwards, the show had started, it had already been cast. I think they'd done the first live show, and they were a week away from the week 1 dance. Right. And somebody got injured, unbeknown to me. I was on holiday. I got home from my holiday, and my agent rang me and said, Kelvin, are you sat down? So I'm thinking, here we go, I've got a film. I've been cast in the new Marvel film, here we go. And he says, Strictly have been on, somebody's injured, they want you on the show, they want to know if you wanted to do it. I'm like, sorry, say Strictly? They didn't, I saw them recently, they didn't want me. But no, listen, it's all very, I had an hour or so to decide. And then I went next door. I always remember the bedroom. My wife was changing my son's nappy.
Glamour.
The glamour of it. And I said, Liz, Strictly have been on. There's a chance I could do it. It's already started. And what was even weirder as well was about a week and a half, 2 weeks before that, my missus randomly, she has these random thoughts that come into her head. Premonitions, is it called? Yeah. She says, I've just had you're going to be doing Strictly. I went, really? She went, honestly, Kevin, I don't know why, I've got the strangest feeling, but I said, it's on TV, it's been cast, it's already out there. She goes, Kelvin, I've got a really strange feeling that you're going to do Strictly.
Oh, I love that.
So I just batted it off, and then, there you go. So I signed some, non-disclosure forms, and all that came through. The day after I had my medical, I met my partner, Ulti, met the producers, had a crash course, what to expect. The other guys were, I think, 2 weeks into their rehearsals, so they were a little bit ahead, but I had a week rehearsals left.
That all?
And then first night, and I got told I was doing the samba. I didn't know what the samba were.
But you smashed it. It was incredible. And the thing that struck me, because I watched it back last week, was just how natural you were from the get-go, and so confident, like in your face you can see it. Because normally I think those first few weeks people are just like they don't breathe, and you can see it in their face, but you just look like you were having an absolute ball. How did it feel before going onto the stage and dancing that first time?
Well, it looked like that. It didn't feel like that.
That's a good actor.
Well, it was. I think that is you're never going to know until you're in that position, in that situation. I can't tell you the fear and the. I've never ever felt anything like it. From doing.
Because it's the unknown. You've never done that.
It's the unknown. I filmed a live episode of Emmerdale with, the jeopardy's real, the jeopardy's there. I've raced cars, the start line, the adrenaline's there, your heart rate's through the roof. I've done charity, amateur boxing matches. I've done all these kind of challenges where you're stepping into the unknown and you don't know what to expect. There's an adrenaline and excitement and fear and Strictly just surpassed it on a level that I just... I worked hard, for a week. I trained and trained and trained and trained. I was confident, not as a dancer, but I was confident that I could push myself and step into the unknown. And all week you don't know kind of where you're at, you don't know if you're good or you're bad, you're just getting told, no, wrong, do it again, wrong, wrong. So you kind of come at the end of the week thinking, am I going to be able to do this? Then you turn up at the live show, there's an audience there, it's on TV, it's going to be live, 10 million people watching. You've got a spray, you've got this costume, and you're sort of thinking, wait a minute, I shouldn't even be on this. This isn't even me. And I remember saying to myself, you shouldn't be here, really. This is somehow you're here by the grace of God.
But then you should be there because it's fate, isn't it? It's fate if it turns out like that.
Yeah,
and it was.
I guess so. I just gave it my all. And I think when my arms went up in that little bit of the dance, and I remember then dancing the samba, Kelvin Fletcher, and I remember saying to myself, just give it some.
You're in it,
because you've got to be a bit camp. You've got to lose your. I guess as an actor, I was willing to do that, and not that I'm a dancer, but I was willing to
not hold back.
And I think once you've done that and go all out, then the minute you hold back a little bit and it feels a bit cringy, then it shows. But, so I just went all out, and
that shimmy was incredible. Can you still do it?
I probably couldn't. I wouldn't even try. It was a good that Saturday night. I think in a weird way was a different but probably better feeling the final than winning.
Really?
Because it was
it's
just
that first.
It was that first, and it was the most electrifying buzz I've ever had. The reception I got was just insane. Not that you do it to get a good reception, but just you've worked so hard all week, and then to go and do it. It's just like a huge sigh of relief.
And to do it so well as well, and to get those scores from the judges, you got 8s across the board on the first dance, right? That was never.
I think that's like the highest samba first dance or whatever. But the stats are, it's the icing on the cake. You want to go there and just don't fall. You don't want to fall over. That's the first thing I was thinking. Don't fall down these stairs, Kelvin. Don't fall down these stairs. I don't know how the girls get on because they're wearing heels, obviously, and they've got a tough job.
But Oti must have been so happy because she'd never won it before, has she?
No, she'd been in the final, I think,
So I guess there must have been a part of her that was thinking, oh God, I'm getting someone, the last minute, I've got no chance again, and then you turn up and do that in the first show. After that first show, is she like, right, we've got a chance of winning it?
Oh no, never.
Really?
She would never say anything like that, and rightly so, because no matter if you're a good dancer, if you're I think it's important as well. It's not just about how you dance, how you come across. It's how people can connect with you and stuff. And I was willing to be myself. There was nothing. Sometimes I had a sense that people in the past maybe have tried to play a certain way or say a certain thing. There's certain buzzwords that you see every year that people say that seem to resonate with the audience because the audience want to see some sort of journey or all these. I all I could be was myself, you know, and if it was hard, I'd say it was hard. If I was loving it, I'd say I was loving it, and everything you saw was absolutely genuine. I've never worked so hard for anything.
No, I bet.
But I you know, anything you kind of do, you've got to give it your all. And Oti was a, you know, a real taskmaster. She kind of pushed me, and at times we really clashed. We really, because I was at my wit's end. I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
And so tired, you must have been exhausted as well.
Exhausted, yeah. And that's the great thing about the pros is they just push you, and you surpass your own expectations time and time again, week in, week out. You know, I thought I was there, and suddenly I go beyond that, and I can't believe I've done it. And then it starts again on the Monday. Yeah,
that's the thing. So it's just relentless, isn't it? So you just every day. Did you have a down day? Was Sunday you off?
Sunday-ish, but then it's either a travel day back up north to see my family, and then you know I'm shattered, but then I'm conscious that it's my first time seeing my wife and my kids, so I've got to be. So you don't really get an off day, really. But then you're back at it Monday. You know, you Saturday night or Sunday night, you've had the elation of getting through, of executing your dance, and then Monday. And you feel like you've executed. Monday, you're back to square one. Forget everything you've learned. It's a new dance.
Yeah. Did it get easier to learn as the weeks went on, or was it just because it was a new dance? It was just as hard. Yeah.
Wednesday night, I'm still learning the moves. I still don't know the steps. So everyone has their own thing. So I'm a really slow learner.
Right.
So some of the casts on Monday, they knew the full routine, and they spend the rest perfecting it, working on technique and stuff. For me, the performance element. I said that'll just come on the night. I don't need to practice that because always used to say you need to do a little bit more light, and I said I'll do that. I just need to. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was learning the moves. By Wednesday night, I was still like, oh, what's next? You know, so I was very slow in that sense. But once I got that, we spent a couple of days on the technique throughout the week as well, and then Saturday, once that spray tan went on, and you put that tight top on, I was like, I'm ready.
Did you get any say in the costumes or the outfits, or did you even see them before the show?
We had a fitting on the Friday.
Okay.
Sometimes we were a little bit lower and tighter than I'd like. Yeah, you know. But
which was your favourite?
I did like the Sambo one.
Yeah.
What did I like I guess it's probably because the favourite dance was the quick step. It was the only dance I didn't make a mistake. Every week I've made a mistake.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't notice.
You would. Because like weird, on a Friday morning or a Thursday afternoon, you might do a full run through and not make a single mistake. And and you think, oh, I wish that could have been. Well, that doesn't matter because it's all on Saturday night. Yeah. And if the pressure then and the live, it's so different. The atmosphere. You make a slight mistake, and you know my mum would say, "Kelvin, you were still fine."
Yeah. And
you're like, yeah, but on Thursday I did it so much better, and you're always chasing that.
Oh, definitely. And you're obviously a perfectionist with the way that you threw yourself into it so much. You wanted to do well. Had you done any dancing beforehand?
No. Contrary to reports, I think it was people do like, well, there's no way you can do that having never trained. I've never trained as an actor. So I've certainly not trained as a dancer, but no, I'd never had any training. I'm a big music fan, and I always felt like I had some natural rhythm.
Yeah.
But you know, again, I put it down to you know hard work and losing your inhibitions. And,
definitely.
So it was a good experience.
Right, so let's have a look at the live chat again. So we've got another few minutes till the next game. So remember to buy your tickets for each game, and well done to all the winners so far. You can see you all congratulating yourselves in the chat, which is very nice. Okie doke, let's have a look. And I know who this is. Can Kelvin teach Mary a dance move? No.
I could try. I think I've forgot them all.
Did you forget each? So once you'd done your dance, you'd done the live show, is that you just like left that behind? Like I guess with your script for Emmerdale, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And some dances you were so relieved to see the back of.
Yeah. Which did you find the hardest?
The Viennese waltz, right. I think, because the spinning, I get really bad migraines.
Oh,
and every time we did a twirl, The weeks of rehearsing for that, we had a sick bag, and it was awful, yeah.
Oh, no.
And I'm a bit of a softie, and I can't do it. But so weeks like that, you look back and think, I'm so glad that's out of the way.
Yeah.
I think the salsa was quite a tough one. The most physically challenging was the Charleston. I think that was like week 3, week 4, and that was physically and I had an injury there. I popped my shoulder in a rehearsal, and I carried that injury all throughout then the show. I stupidly said I could do a hold, like a flag they call it, like where you hang horizontally on a pole.
Yeah.
And we put that into the routine. And
was that the Mary Poppins?
That was the Mary Poppins one, yeah. And I unfortunately got a bit of an injury that I had to then have physio on every week. So we obviously had to keep it quiet, but I guess that was my excuse ready to go in case. I was injured.
Because you said you had a medical before the show. So what do they do in there? Just check you out that you.
Yeah, I think that you're fitting well. Blood samples and urine samples, and so if thankfully I'm pretty clean living.
Yeah.
But I guess to make sure that you physically sound, mentally sound as well, because and rightly so. I think the mental element is the biggest thing, because what you're about to undertake is you're potentially coming away from your life. For me it was wife, kid, friends, mum and dad, so that you're uprooted in many ways. The spotlight, it's a huge show. The press, the paparazzi, all these sort of elements, the things I'd kind of seen before, but never to the intensity. And unfortunately, there's potential there for some negativity around that, so you're kind of prepared for that. But again, I take everything in my stride, and I just thought it's the unknown. I'll do my best. I'll be myself, and thankfully, looking back, it was all alright.
It did go quite well for you. Did you ever see or hear about the other people that were in it, and kind of how they were getting along week to week, or did you only see them at that live show?
You only saw them at the live show on the Friday. You get a rehearsal together. Sometimes in the week you bump into each other in a rehearsal room in the same venue, but we always had rehearsals away from everyone else, not by choice, just by local. I was based in Manchester. A lot of people were based down south, so the place that we were designated to rehearse at was just away from everybody else, so we hardly ever saw anybody. When we started training in London towards the latter end of the series, I had to be based in London. We then used an area where quite a few of the professionals were, and the other celebrities, and I managed to. But even then, you don't see each other on a tea break or a dinner break, and it'd be how are you getting on? I'm struggling. Everyone was always struggling. There was one chance I got to see Will Bailey. Unfortunately, he left for the competition with an injury. But he did what they call the couple's choice, and it was his story to kind of say how. The dance-wise, I think it was a contemporary dance, but it was his journey from being born with a disability, and how he kind of overcome that adversity. And me and Ulsu went and watched a rehearsal. So it was like Thursday afternoon, and Jeanette and Will said, "Do you want to come next door and we'll watch yours and you watch ours?" Because you weren't allowed to kind of see each other's.
Oh, okay.
And they watched ours, and I was an upbeat salsa or cha-cha or something. And we went and watched theirs, and we sat down and they performed it. And we both cried. It honestly, and knowing his story as well, and the guy, Will anyway, is just the most amazing man. I had complete admiration for him and love for him. He was just, I just thought he was such a team player. He was so popular. He's just one of those people that walks in, everyone just gravitates towards. And this was his story, and he was willing to showcase it in front of everybody. And that took a lot of courage, and it was just a really, if you get a chance, watch it on YouTube. It was a really, really nice performance, and he danced really well. And we both sat there and we had tears in our eyes and a little sob, and we just said that. And I think that was like the highest score in that dance that week. He absolutely nailed it. It meant, and it absolutely resonated with people at home. They obviously saw it and was like, without sounding. There's more to dance than just dancing. It's got to be emotive. It's an expression. It's it can be quite emotive in many ways. So and that certainly was.
It's such a lovely thing, and one of the things that we've been doing for Rail Aid is a locomotion challenge. So we challenged companies across the rail industry to come up with their own routine to Kylie's The Locomotion, film it, and then submit it to be marked in a competition, and they're all up for vote at the moment. And when we came up with the idea, we had no idea how people were going to react to it and if they were going to get involved. And then gradually we'd get these videos sent in to us from all over the country, all different companies sending us these videos. And it was just so joyous to watch them getting together, because obviously the rail industry's had a really tough time this year with everything. Them getting together with their colleagues and just having fun and letting go and being part of this fundraising initiative, and you could just see how happy they all were when they were doing it, and the messages that we got back from those companies saying, oh, we absolutely loved it, and just having that time out and having a bit of fun and doing a dance just made so much of a difference to their day. And I guess that must have been the same for you when you came off stage, that kind of elation, you feel that.
Yeah, you know, dancing at that sort of level with strict choreography and being marked, in many ways is no different to going to a wedding and seeing your Uncle Bob, you know, drunk. I'm going to use another term then, but I thought children might watch it. But having a bit of, you know, with no technique, but it's the same. It's how you feel, and it's just and it's just as joyous watching somebody who's really, really good at dancing to watching someone who's just having a good time. To see someone lose themselves in that moment with that favourite track for whatever, you know, it might the same track might mean something different to you than it does for me. That's the power of dance, the power of music, I guess, and it takes you to a place, and that's what we've all lacked, isn't it? This year, we've not had that ability to do that. We have at home but to get, you know, weddings and even funerals. I've been at some of the most amazing parties have been at wakes. Yeah. When, you know, we've celebrated someone's life, and music, you're able to do that, and so I absolutely agree there. Dancing is it's unique in that sense.
It is. Let's have a look at some more of the questions. Let's have a look.
Has my lucky number come up yet? 17 is my lucky number. Has it come up yet?
Well, there's quite a few cards there, so maybe.
Oh, is it?
One of the things I was going to ask, you were talking about the audience in the studio, but what was it like in Blackpool? And was it, obviously everyone talks about how different it is and everyone wants to get to Blackpool. Was it that different, and being in that room and dancing in front of that audience?
Yeah, it was it was a real highlight, I think. It was a holiday destination for me, and as I'm sure many people in the Northwest, you know, are growing up, so it felt like my patch. You know, going there was like, I was like at Tulti or whoever else. Oh, I used to go there, you know, and you kind of, all these memories are flooding back. And we used to go to the ballroom. We'd be like next door in Jungle Gyms or whatever it's called. I think me and my brother, my dad and mum and dad would be sat watching, you know, people just dance. Right. And looking at the ceiling and the organ playing. It was just, you know, you go there for a cup of tea. Just a beautiful, like the ornate, just beautiful place. And I think Blackpool itself represents, I think it's a really good indicator of what you know, as Northerners, I guess, you know, we'll chat to anybody, you know, everyone's considerate of one another, you want to go there for a good time. Those cheesy hats that people walk around in, you know, kiss me quick hats and stuff like that, you know, it's just it represents a good time and a little bit of a breakaway and escapism. And you know, the old tower, you know, the first one to see the tower when you're driving into Blackpool was a game we used to play, so kind of going back there represented so much for me as a kid, looking back. But then I'm getting to dance on that dance floor, and it sprung as well, so it's got a different feel, you see. And I was doing the jive that week, so fate had it where when you really need that springiness, I was gifted with a springy floor. And I had my nan in the audience, you know, and she, when she first met my granddad as a teddy boy, he had this big quiff, and my granddad had sadly passed, and I had this big quiff, and it was just like, you know, it was a real lovely moment for me, you know, selfishly, personally, but for a whole collective, you know, we were all, as a cast, just delighted to have got through and to dance at Blackpool, because it's such a huge, significant week in the series of Strict Life. Yeah, and then the party afterwards was amazing.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Did you go out on a night on the Tiles?
We didn't go a night on the Tiles, but we had it at the hotel.
Oh, really?
A couple of times we had strict security that when you left the venue, you had to get a taxi and drive back to your hotel. It was along the seafront, about a mile down. And I think we got there on Wednesday to rehearse. Normally you get to the venue on Friday, but we got there a few days early. And I used to just say, I'll be all right. He said, Kelvin, I said, I'll be all right. I know this patch. And I used to get my fish and chips on the front and walk back to the hotel. Yeah. And that hour to myself was just you know, it was. I loved it. It took me back, and I'll be chatting to people on the way because they really make a real effort. The local community, I guess, they know that Strictly's here.
Yeah, because they'll know it's in town. Yeah, it must be. I didn't think about that actually. It must be.
Everybody knew, and I was walking down and chatting to people, and you know, having pictures and whatnot, and I was probably trying to get a few votes along the way. Make sure you're really voting. I would never say that. I used to tell people, "Oh, vote," because people would say, "Who's your favourite?" And I'd say, "Oh, well, my favourite at the minute is." My daughter was obsessed with Anton, so I always had to say Anton. I loved Karim; he was brilliant. So every week I was having favourites, and my wife was actually voting for the people all the time. Oh yeah, she was.
But you as well, right?
No, always for the people. Yeah, she was kind of saying, "Oh well, you know, your mates and your mum and dad will vote for you. I'll vote for who I think is second best."
Oh.
So yeah,
that's very fair.
But yeah, Blackpool was the dance was great, and again another mistake in the dance. I don't know if you can notice towards the end when I'm doing my little flicks, I miss a kick.
I don't think anyone notices.
No? Oh well, it played on my mind a little bit because I was like, oh. But it was a great. I think Karim did his jive there that weekend as well, and he absolutely smashed it. And Michelle went out that week, which was a big shock, a big surprise. Michelle was actually nobody was expecting that, so it was that's the nature of the show, I guess. It always throws up some surprises.
Yeah. Who did you have someone that you thought was your biggest competition?
No, I never
thought about that.
Never thought about that. No. Without sounding, I didn't felt like I had any competition. I didn't think any of us did because we're all different. We all represent something different. I thought Karim was the best dancer. You know, he's just a natural dancer. He grew up dancing. That's his thing. You know, and I was in absolute awe of him. He's a great guy. Really got on well with him. I thought everybody brought something different, and that's why I was quite keen on telling myself and telling everyone else I don't want it to feel like competition because we're not in competition with each other, and I don't want it to feel like that, and it never did feel like that. We all have something different, and I never felt like I was competing directly with anybody else. I genuinely wanted somebody else to do their dance well. You know, they worked hard all week, and when I was watching them,
because you don't want to see someone fail.
No, you know, someone like Mike, he worked so hard. And he'd get there and he'd nail it, and I'd be like, I'm so genuinely delighted that he nailed it, you know. And thankfully, I never got to win a dance off. But to do that must be hard because you're potentially going to knock somebody out then. So that's when it does feel like a competition, and it does feel a bit. And the only time I kind of felt that was at the end in the final, where even then we'd all made the final. We said this is beyond our wildest dreams. It's out of our hands, you know. The audience are going to decide, and rightly so. So for me, it wasn't really. I didn't worry about it. I was kind of proud of what I'd done. Yeah. But then,
I think that comes across. It doesn't come across as a competitive kind of show.
Yeah.
It comes across like
the only competitive people are the pros.
They're
more competitive than anybody.
Yeah, they would be. And like I said, Oti must have been so pleased when you were every week doing so well, because it must be a thing for her to want to win, because they must have that chat between themselves, the professionals, and that competitive edge. And
I personally, you know, we used to talk about the format of the show, and for me, it's the unknown. You know, I'm not in control of who votes and who doesn't vote, so I never used to really worry in that sense, because. When people have voted for you, it's genuinely humbling, because you think someone's actually picked up the phone or text to vote for me. It's like, and you can't see these people, they're at home, but you know, when you get a chance to say thanks, or in the street and someone stops and says, "Oh, I voted for you," you genuinely like, you know, you're like, thank you. It honestly means so much, but it's not in our control, you know, and it's given to the gift is to the audience to let them decide, and you know, so I just said, all I can do is go out there, have a good time. And every week could be my last week, so I just want to make sure that every week I've got the most out of that week. I've worked hard all week, I've danced and you know, given my all. There might be a few mistakes, but ultimately I've given my all. I'll have a few beers on Saturday night to celebrate. If I'm going home, I'm going home, and if I'm staying, then great, more hard work on the Monday.
That was one of the questions actually, about, is there a bar at the studio? Do you have to get to, is there?
Will I get in trouble if I'm saying? Yeah, there's a bar, the Star Bar we called it.
Oh really?
And there's a separate tent, and but you know, it's BBC.
Yeah.
It wasn't a free bar.
Oh really?
It wasn't a free bar.
Well, at least it was long.
There
Because you
wasn't
must have
long.
been so full of adrenaline afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine you went to sleep for hours after.
No, he was buzzing. And sometimes a mix because the celebrity was sadly going home that weekend, would be there with their family.
Right.
So that was, you know, you're saying bye to somebody which you never wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking back genuinely, there wasn't a single person in that group who wasn't part of the team.
Yeah.
You know, we're still in a group WhatsApp now, we're still all text.
Oh,
And yeah,
that's
so
nice.
I feel like I've found, you know, I got so much out of the show.
Yeah.
Far more than just a glitter ball. You know, I made some friendships, some, you know, for life really, and
Yeah.
with everybody, with not just O2, but with the other pros. I came really close with Neil,
Oh, really?
Graziano, Jan. You know, so everybody throughout were lovely. You know,
Yeah.
and the crew as well. It's you talk about slick productions. That is.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
It's you know, from the camera operators to makeup to the
Yeah.
costume designers, script writers, produce. It's just you know, that's why it's such a successful show.
Yeah. And the fake tanners. So tell us about the fake tan. So it was a proper
What's the
spray
position?
tan.
The different positions. Every Friday night,
You turned into a pro at being fake tanned.
7 o'clock was my slot.
Right.
I was always like one of the last. The girls, yeah, used to have a laugh and joke. Every week I'd ask to go darker, I think. That was the thing.
Tan addict.
Yeah, it was.
Was it wash off or was it like a proper fade?
I don't know. I think I couldn't have a shower that night
Right. Okay.
or go in the sauna.
Right.
So
So it stayed on your skin and just like gradually faded.
yeah, I'd wake up and feel mortified for the cleaners
The
coming into the
sheets,
hotel room because the
yeah.
sheets would be like, oh God, have
Every
I done
girl
that?
knows- Every girl knows that feeling.
But then you feel like you've got that holiday glow, don't you?
Have you kept it up?
I've not kept it up.
No.
I mean, my wife has the mitt thing. I can't be doing
Yeah.
it all. I'm not doing that. You know,
Oh, you're a diva. You're like, no,
you're missing a bit. Yeah, I want to be sprayed. I want to be get me in that booth and get me sprayed because that cold. You know, when it's cold,
Yeah.
it's quite a nice feeling, isn't it?
No, I don't like it.
Do you not like it, no?
No.
I quite like it.
No.
As soon as lockdown finishes, I think it's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to go for a tan.
Right, some of the other
A lot of men
questions
do
that-
it nowadays.
Well, yeah, they
It's
do.
not just a
It's-
female thing.
No, it's a great thing. It's better than
Universal.
actual tanning.
Yeah,
It's not good for your skin to suntan, so
yeah.
no, it's good. Now, one of the things was in your dances, you did a couple of musical theatre numbers, and you seem to really enjoy those. So, is that something that you would think you might like to explore? Do you think?
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
you-
Yeah, I'm a massive musical theatre fan.
Oh, really? You could, yeah,
I
you
always
could
have
kind of
been,
tell you liked those.
But I didn't really have, you know, I was an actor. I wasn't triple threat. I was a single threat.
Right.
So, you know, they say triple threat is for somebody
Yeah.
who can sing, dance, and act.
Well, you can dance. So, can you sing?
Not really. I think dancing and acting, dancing and singing is not really. Acting was
Yeah.
my other thing I felt comfortable at.
Yeah, yeah.
Dancing I was out of my comfort zone, and singing I'm kind of out of my comfort zone. But acting I felt very much in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, the musical theatre option, you know, there was some opportunities straight after the show. That obviously couldn't happen because of
Yeah.
I don't want to say the word.
No.
But next year there's some more. Yeah, so musical theatre is something I definitely want to explore and try, because for years I've been to the West End, not just the West End, up and down the UK. I've been as far as Isle of Man to watch Sunset Boulevard, an
really?
amateur production of that. You know,
Oh.
so I love musical theatre,
Oh,
and
it's the best.
you know, that's yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at some more questions. Oh, there's lots of winners going on, which is good. Great questions. Did you buy Jamie a drink for getting injured? Oh, Jamie Lang for getting injured, giving you the chance to get going Strictly.
I don't know. I only kind of saw him on the night, the opening show.
Yeah, because he was there
he
watching,
was there, the
and it was
audience.
quite nice actually. He was watching. It was maybe mixed emotions for him because obviously he wanted to be out there doing it, but
Yeah.
he seemed really proud of you.
Yeah,
and,
you know, champion bloke. He seemed really. I felt a bit weird and a bit
Yeah.
guilty, kind of taking his spot. You know, I felt sorry for him, but thankfully he's had a chance to you know, to redeem that, I guess, and he's doing great.
Yeah.
You know, this year I think is improved every week. It looks
Yeah.
like I watched it, I think last week or the week before, and he had this number where he was shaking his little butt, and I was like to my wife, I was like, hey, he's really good at it. He's really going for it.
Yeah.
So you know, everybody looks so great. Everybody
Yeah.
looks so like they're having such a great time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a good bloke, and I didn't get a chance to buy him a beer, but if I see him in the future, then I will do, because I definitely want to go.
Who do you think's got the best shot of winning this year? Who do you think's looking?
I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because it's so hard to call.
Yeah.
You know, everybody looks like they represent something different, which
and
is
people improve at different rates.
different.
As well,
People improve. I think you know, Bill. I've obviously got a real affection for that partnership because of Ulti, but also Bill as well. I met him when I went and did my winners dance.
Oh really?
And I had a little bit of a chat with him in the dressing room. He's a fellow thespian, he's a fellow actor, and he's just he's I'm sure what Mum was saying, an older guy, and he's just thrown himself at this.
Yeah.
He's gone, listen, I'll give it my all, and I'm out of my comfort zone, but and he's brilliant, isn't he?
He's doing so well, and
He's doing so well.
I guess one of the ones in the lineup when you first see it, everyone's like, oh, he's not going to be that great, but then he comes out and just really impresses.
Yeah.
But like you said, he's an actor, and he is that type of character where he will just go for it. And that is the difference, isn't it?
I think they're all, without sitting on the fence too much, I'll be getting splintered ones. I think they're all great, and I don't want to kind of call it. I'm just as excited as the next person to watch the final, and and see. I was really disappointed to see Katia and go out, and because I think it was like as if there's not been enough bad luck for people to go out with that positive test. That was a real shame, because I think as a dynamic, obviously it represented the first female couple, which in the dancing circles is not really a thing. It's just that happens all, whereas for Strictly it was a big moment. But I thought they were great, and I think Nicola did really well. She looked great, and I thought they had a pretty good chemistry, but unfortunately we never got to see that partnership for its full potential. So
is it quite nice sitting at home watching it this year?
Yeah. When there's then the dancing, whatever it is, I'm like, I used to get the fear kicked in. Whereas now I'm sat there, kids are running around, Daddy, come here, and we're trying to copy the dance, and I've sat there with my cup of tea.
You've got your glitter ball, done it.
I got the glitter ball just behind. I'm not that guy. I don't have it up in the.
Have you done any dancing since? Obviously, you went on the live tour.
Did the arena tour, which was amazing.
And that must have been one of the last live shows that happened this year. Right?
Yeah, that was. I think 2 weeks after that, we went into. It was it really hit then.
Yeah.
I mean, what an experience.
Yeah.
Birmingham International Arena, the O2, Manchester MEN, Leeds, Dublin, Glasgow. We went up and down the country.
Yeah. Huge audiences.
To 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people. Just insane.
Yeah.
You felt like a rock star. It was just every night you becoming your best mates. You're touring together. You're on the tour bus.
Yeah.
You're going out partying in different cities. The cities are so welcoming. Belfast, Aberdeen. All these amazing places are like welcome you with open arms. You're only there for a night or two, so you make the most of it.
And it's such a great night out for the people that are going.
Yeah, just a great night out. Kids are there, they're having a great night out. Groups of lads, groups of girls, everyone's, it appeals to everybody. Yeah. And then, there's that element of competition again then, because you're all dancing, the judges will give their comments. So there's an element of nerves. Yeah. Even though we're doing the same dance every show, it's the first time the audience have seen it. So you want to go out and perform and do your best. And it was great. And then everyone texts us, I think, at the end of the show. And then we have Stacey Dooley was the host. So
they have a winner, because I've never been to one. So is that how it works?
Yeah, there's 30 shows, and every show, matinee and evening, we have a new winner every show. So the audience, we don't know. So we get there, and not going through to that. It kind of have the blackouts, and then the winner for Birmingham is, and then they announce it, and it's like I say, every show, the audience text.
Did it change a lot between the places who won?
No, it didn't actually. It was just
me.
It was sorry. Yeah. I think I'm the only champion to ever win every single show.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what it. And I had a new partner as well. It was me and Jeanette, because we said, no one's seen it. We've never danced together before.
Yeah.
Ulti couldn't make it.
Okay.
So I was just praying. I wanted Mike to win every day, because he was my favourite, and we got on the most.
You were just too good.
Me and Mike were always in the bar, the last men standing.
Really?
So yeah, it was.
Right. 2 minutes till the next game, so remember to get
buy your tickets. I'm just seeing a sign over there. Buy your tickets, guys.
Oh, here's a fitness one. So fitness is obviously a big part of your life. How often do you train?
Well, because of Boris, not very often. I'm not happy about that. That's no good, is it?
It isn't any good.
That's no good.
Do you have a home gym?
No, I don't. I don't have a home gym, sadly. I've gone to the local park a couple of times. You know, done a there's like a 5k loop, 5k run, and then a few little press ups and stuff. But you know, it is hard. I think for me, it's always been a way to, you know, get your frustrations and get things out there. I think an hour in the morning's key for me. You know, 5, 6 a.m. really early.
Oh, wow.
Bit of a pain to get up, but then it's done for the day. Then
and you feel so much better.
you feel better, whether it's going to the gym, playing squash, running, whatever your go-to exercise is. I think it's pretty key. So yeah, when I'm active, I'd like to try and get in at least 3 or 4 times a week. But you know, kids and work can sometimes dictate otherwise. So you know,
that was the question actually, fitting that in with your Emmerdale schedule in particular.
Yeah, that was tough. But you know, I kind of had to make it a priority. Some months I'd be quite intense. You know, for 2 or 3 months I'd always make sure I train consistently, and then this year I've probably not strung together more than a 2 weeks worth of training. You know, I guess everyone is like that. So this year is, I'd lost 10 kilos doing Strictly.
I was gonna say
So I guess
you were fit when you went into that show, but was it different once you started dancing?
I think it was different. I was doing a lot of cycling, so I had quite chunky legs and a bum, and then I was doing a lot of weights. I was quite, you know, solid. And the dancing, the energy you're burning, you just, all that kind of
just strips off.
Muscle is wasted, so you quickly kind of trim up. So I came a lot slimmer, but yeah, I mean, I was only 82 kilos, so to lose like 10 kilos is a massive amount. But I felt really lean and felt really good. And then I carried that on. I was like, well, this year I'll just be a little bit lighter. So I've kind of made that a conscious effort. So.
Did you have to eat quite a lot though when you were doing the dancing?
Yeah, eat what you want.
Really?
Eat what you want. Pizza.
So you can't carry that on, can you really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was my mantra. You know, just to take on as much fuel. You know, food is fuel. Everything in moderation. You know, your body doesn't know the difference between a Mars bar and a protein bar. It'll just take out certain macros, your proteins, your fats, and all that. So without getting too, I'm not that anal about it, but.
And I did a nutrition degree.
All right, well, you'll know more than me then. Yeah. So when I'm training, I'd always just watch my calories, as in make sure I'm getting at least 2,500 or whatever it might be. It depends how active I am. If I'm doing a lot of triathlons or anything, then.
Is that something that you like to do?
Yeah. So I was up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, but I always look for different ways of training and doing different stuff. So I want to do a marathon next year.
Nice.
And I want to try and climb Kilimanjaro.
Oh wow!
That's been something on the radar for the last 2 years, and it's evaded me. So hopefully next year I can get to do it.
Nice. And now you're a professional rally car driver.
Well, racing, I race. Which is bizarre.
Yeah. So how did that happen? How did that come about?
A bit of a fluke, I guess. I've always been a big car enthusiast, a big petrol head. From being a kid, stories of me going to bed with a spanner. You know, most kids take a teddy or a blanket. I always took a spanner. You know, 12mm ratchet or something. That's just my thing. My dad was a diesel fitter back then and mechanic.
Right.
So you know, growing up in our 2 up 2 down, playing outside on the front football, my dad would be under someone's car fixing it, doing foreigners and that. So that was very much what I wanted to be. Right. I'd started acting as a 7 or 8 year old, but saw it as a hobby. As jobs go, and I was always reminded that by my careers advisor at school. Really? You know, what job do you want? And I said, well, I want to be a mechanic. I want to fix cars, and that's 15, 16. I guess I still harboured that desire. Acting took over. That became my job, if you like. And 28 years old, I was like, I've always wanted to try a bit of racing, and I'd been as a spectator. And then took the plunge and bought a classic Mini and went racing at just not too far from it, Alton Park.
Oh really?
Which is only like maybe 40 minutes away. Went to a little classic like club race, really entry level, basic, you know, motorsport, and did quite well. And then, you know, anything I kind of get my teeth into, I give it my all. And fast forward now, you know, I'm now racing with the big brand like Bentley.
Nice.
And for a professional team, and I've got like big sponsors, so it's become something that's become quite a serious and another career, if you like.
So what's your plan with that? Is it just kind of seeing where you go with it, or have you got something in mind that you want to achieve?
Yeah, I guess I play each, year by year really. Certainly to stay within GT racing.
Right.
So the cars that I race will resemble cars that are on the road. So
Right.
Formula One. So we've like Formula One in a sense of Silverstone. We'd race around Silverstone.
Oh, okay.
But it's endurance race. So the races are anything from 1 hour to 3 hours long.
Oh, wow.
And I'll share the car with somebody else. So I'll do half the stint, and then my teammate will get in.
Right.
But the cars resemble road cars. So
Yeah.
whether it's a Bentley or a Ferrari, albeit prestigious
Yeah.
brands, they're adapted to become a race car. So that's the GT racing. So I certainly want to stay within that field and
Yeah.
maybe go to Le Mans and compete in Le Mans 24 hours. So that's on our
wow.
radar.
So that you must take a bit of fitness as well to drive cars and that endurance side of it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's an element of fitness, I guess, but I guess more mental fitness than anything else. To keep concentration for an hour and a half stint in the car.
Yeah.
When temperatures throughout the summer, especially in the cockpit of the car, are, really really hot. You're travelling at 150 miles an hour. So it's really really intense,
Yeah.
and you're trying to be within a couple of tenths of yourself every lap. So.
Have you had any near misses?
I've had crashes. I've had quite a few near misses, but that's part of motorsport. I think
Yeah.
people looking in, motorsport is every precaution has been taken, every safety precaution. Safety is paramount,
Yeah.
and I genuinely feel safer in my race car than I do. I travelled 250 miles today. Coming driving from Norfolk from a race circuit, and that commute up the M6 was more challenging than turn one at Donington Park, say, because on a race circuit it's lovely tarmac, we're all going the same direction, we've all got safety harnesses on and helmets, and
all good drivers.
everyone's good drivers. So like I say, safety is paramount.
Yeah.
When you're doing your daily commute or the rat race, it's
You don't know how else is on the road.
exactly. Yeah. So
Right, let's have a look at
I've managed to
this.
pick two careers where it's on the I'm at the mercy of something. I'm at the mercy of a casting director
Yeah.
or producers to pick me for a part,
Yeah.
and I'm at the mercy of racing teams to pick me for their team. So
Yeah.
I probably should have picked better careers, really.
Well, you obviously were very resilient, so there we go. Right, here we go. Oh, does Kelvin want to trek the Himalayas for railway children?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, but it'd be even better if there was a train to take me up halfway.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at one of them. Let's have a look at one.
Who's had the biggest win tonight? Has anybody had the?
Well,
had
yeah.
more than
So
one win?
there's. Oh, I don't know actually. We'll get all the winners at the end, so we can say a big thank you. Yeah. What was it like taking the show on the road? Oh, what's been your lockdown TV of choice?
Oh, good question. Yeah, we've had some quite.
We've all been
There's
watching
been some
TV.
great. Yeah.
Did you watch Tiger King? Way back
Yes,
when?
yeah. I dipped
Feels
in and
like
out of
ages
that.
ago.
Yeah, it does feel like ages ago. I became obsessed. I mean, the eccentric characters, aren't they?
I think Carol Baskin's on the American version
Of
of
dance. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Have you ever watched any of the American version?
We saw a couple of clips that Ulti had sent, because that's what you kind of did, where she'd be like, "With this week we're doing a samba. Let's watch a samba,"
Right.
and you'd watch it from previous years, from
Yeah.
Ireland, from Australia, wherever it was. So it's a big show over there, but it's still considered the best version of Shut the Come Dancing is the UK.
Yeah.
That's what all the kind of pros say. So.
So you just saw some clips.
Yeah, just saw some clips. Yeah, but Carol Bass. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of. No one was a fan of her. No, she was a bit
crazy.
Yeah, a bit crazy. Wasn't she? But my go-to, what's it? There's something on Netflix. Oh, not Netflix. Amazon at the minute. Called This Is Us.
Oh, I love This Is
Yeah,
Us.
it's
That's
I've cried
a tearjerker.
every night, isn't it?
That's
It's
a real
just
tearjerker.
yeah. It's,
Here was one that came in before. Going back to Strictly, who was your favourite judge?
Who was my favourite judge? Craig.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was so critical.
He was just he's the nicest.
Really?
Guy.
It's all an act?
It's all an act.
I thought that might be the case.
Obviously on tour, I got to meet him properly and socialise with him. He's the most lovely. I've never seen him turn anybody down for pictures or anything like that. And he used to get mobbed everywhere we went.
Really?
But he plays this nasty character, and people can be quite abrasive towards him. And he's just so accommodating, honestly, he's just a real. I think is a real credit to that show.
That's so nice to hear.
Yeah,
because he does play that character, and he
Plays
can
it so
tell
well.
he's playing it.
Yeah, but he's the one person I wanted to impress more than anybody else.
That's the
Maybe because of
thing.
that, you know,
Yeah,
he's so hard to
definitely.
impress. But he knows
Yeah.
what he's talking about. He's
Yeah.
been in the industry for years. He's been there, done that. He's the director and producer of all the Strictly tours.
Oh, is he?
So artistically, his talent is
Yeah.
there to see. You know, we know kind of firsthand what a great visionary he is and
Yeah.
creative. So, you know, you have to respect his thoughts and that. And I like how honest he is. And
Yeah.
when I made mistakes or I wasn't great, he told me.
Yeah.
And then in the afterwards, it was like, "Darling, you were great, really." And I'd be like, "Oh, honestly, great." So yeah, he was. You know, and we're both like a glass of red. So he's
Oh.
he's a lovely guy and
Well,
got a lot
that's
of time
nice
for
to
him.
hear.
But all the judges were great. I must say, you know, Bruno was brilliant. Me and
he
Bruno
loved you.
worked out a couple of times in the gym on tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shirley was great. I was unfortunately Motzi couldn't make the tour, but obviously she did the TV show, and I think Motzi's been a revelation since she came in.
Oh,
so
yeah. People
I think the dynamic that they've got is a great dynamic.
Yeah.
I think it's been a great addition to have Anton stepping in this year because he's great, and he's
Yeah.
another cheeky. You know,
Yeah.
he's such a charmer, but
He's so lovable.
he's so lovable. But the amount of like passive insults he'd make towards me all the time, yeah. Like when I
But
did,
in a way that you can't.
in a way that it's, you know, you can't help but love him. I went
Yeah.
back and did my winners dance, and first thing that Anton said was, "Oh, that was a bit rusty, wasn't it?" And then I just went off, and I was like, "Well, yeah, it was. Actually, it was a bit rusty, wasn't it? I was a bit out of time. Yeah, dagger." But yeah, you know, that's the thing. What I miss the most is those, you know, those kind of those
Yeah.
moments and interacting with those people.
Yeah. And how has lockdown been for you and your family? Obviously, you've got young children, haven't you? So, what has that been like? All being at home. Did you have a new baby just before?
Yeah. So Milo will be 2 actually in December.
Right.
Yeah, it's been. I guess it's been tough, like it has for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, we've got out as much as we can. Come rain or shine, we've been out and exploring, which has been good. We've seen pockets of our area that we've not seen before.
Yeah.
We've got to, you know, speak to neighbours and the wider community, which is, I guess, it's one of these weird things that's one of the positives it's brought out. But yeah, it has been tough. You know, trying to keep sane throughout this has been tough. But you know, I'm hopefully trying to see some light at the end of the tunnel because it isn't sustainable what we're doing.
No,
you know,
no.
and I don't want to try and create a new normal. The thought of not cuddling anybody and embracing even strangers without that physical contact is ludicrous. So you know, I'll happily acquiesce in the short term for the right reasons, but there's got to be an end because it's simply not. We're not designed to do this. We're designed to. There's nothing better than cuddling, is there? You know, and meeting friends and going to see your friends and Christmas. I don't know what Christmas Day is going to look like, but I know one thing: we'll be playing bingo. So at least that'll be a lighter note.
Oh, here's the.
I'm sure everyone feels the same.
Everyone does feel the same, definitely. So, did you enjoy dressing up for Strictly, and which outfit did you hate and love the most? Which one did you hate the most?
I didn't. I'm trying to think of the looks.
You didn't really get any bad ones. So I saw. Is it Max from The Wanted dressed as Homer Simpson? So that's a bad one. You didn't get anything like that, did you?
He's such a good-looking lad, isn't he? I'd be like,
I don't know if he can pull off Homer Simpson.
No, I think he did. You know, I think he did. But I'd be like, if I had looks like that, I'd be like, listen, just put the camera there. He's gorgeous, isn't he? But and you know, he came across like a really decent guy as well, a lovely guy. But I was gifted. I was gifted with some good costumes.
Yeah,
I don't think I got a bad one.
You didn't get a bad one. I don't think you got a bad one.
I love them all, to be honest. I've actually nicked a couple of them.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm going to get in trouble.
I know. I don't
I hope there's no one from Strictly watching
It's
this.
a revelation.
I nicked my Samba top and my pants. I've even nicked my Cuban heels. I'm going to wear... That was another thing I was saying. After lockdown, when we were allowed to go out, I'm going to wear them because... the height has always been my Achilles heel. I'm only 5'8". So with these heels, I'd suddenly feel like a 6-foot stallion. So I've took them home. So when I get a chance, so if you ever see me out and about and I'm looking a bit taller, have a look at my heels and you'll see my little cube. I have my little Samba bras on, and my shoulder dance as well. That was another one that I took.
Nice. Just as mementos, or fancy dressing up in them?
I had a bet with a few of the lads that the next social outing I'd wear it. But then for us it'd be funny. But then other people would be thinking, "Oh man, you let it go, Kelvin. It was last year. Let it go."
It's a new champion.
Yeah, there's so it wasn't for that reason. But I think I'm going to frame it and get it on the wall or something, maybe.
Oh dear. Right, 7 minutes till the next game. What time are we on? Oh, just past 8 o'clock, so we've got half an hour left. And this is a reminder that the final game of the night, you can win your full house, that's £50, but also an iPad with that. So that's a great prize. And that, again, is thank you to AimTech for that lovely...
Thank you, Intech.
Lovely donation. And I think now's a nice time as well to say an extra special thank you to STM Group. So they're such a lovely company. They've supported us for ages. They did a locomotion challenge video that was brilliant, and they've sponsored this evening. They provided all the cash prizes so that every penny that you spend on your tickets goes directly to the charity. So buy more tickets, more chance of winning. What could be better? Right, let's have a look at this. Oh, everyone's talking about the M6. Oh,
is there a... I've been sat in the M6 tonight.
So, oh, have you? Well, maybe there's something going on. Talk about the United score. Are you United?
No, I'm not really. I guess you could write on the back of a stamp what I know about football.
Oh, any advice for the next winner?
Any advice for the next winner?
What was that final show like going into it? Was it more?
No, I guess it was less because first and foremost you had to do, I think, 3 dances. 3 dances, yeah. But only one new dance. So the show dance was a new dance.
Right.
The other 2 were dances that you already kind of knew.
Okay.
You had to refresh again.
Yeah.
But there's an added pressure because naturally you want to improve on those 2 dances, and I had 2 difficult dances. I think the only time someone's been in the final with a rumba and a samba. So every time I got these challenges, I thought, why did I get...
Tested.
Yeah, testing. But that's where Ulti was great because she said, listen, let's just embrace it. It's another challenge, and let's just really, focus and do your best. Don't worry about scores or anything like that. Let's just do our best. So yeah, got to do the samba, which was nice because I came in the show the same way. I left the show, I started with the samba, I finished with the samba, rumba, and the show dance, which was like a medley of all these kind of dance styles.
Yeah.
But the final was less pressure in a sense because we'd made the final.
Yeah.
I'd surpassed my own expectations. I didn't know where I was going to end up, but I certainly didn't kind of envisage that. And I was just there, mum and dad were in the audience, and I just wanted to enjoy it and go out.
And it's the last one.
It's the last time you're going to dance, and it's quite, you're quite sad really because you're thinking, it's the last time. I'm saying, that the journey's finished now.
Yeah.
That's it. My Strictly journey is coming to an end, and you don't want it to because you're in this amazing bubble with amazing people. It is, looking back, one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's coming to an end, the old saying, all good things do come to an end, and it's nothing's ever been kind of truer. So, it was a great night, and then to be crowned champion, I mean...
And you could tell how shocked you were.
Just absolutely kind of, utter shock and disbelief and overwhelmed, and I don't know what I said in my speech, but I was just like, all these things were... Yeah, really emotional, really. But the overriding feeling was absolute gratitude, to firstly be there in the circumstances I were, but then to be kind of handed this honour by people who don't even know you.
Yeah.
People have texted you and voted for you. So to be crowned a champion beats any panel, any judge, because I guess, these are people who have watched and invested in you, and that is the, I guess, most humbling thing and biggest privilege, so.
I know he must have been absolutely made up, just so happy.
Yeah, we were both delighted, and Ulti had been in a final before, so I think this was just like, one step, and she was just, again, feeling of immense gratitude. She's a popular member amongst that Strictly team, and rightly so. She's a great dancer and a great character. And
does she choreograph everything? Or
yeah.
She did it all. Yeah,
absolutely everything. All the pros do. That's what I mean. They're unbelievable. They're athletes. They're freaks of nature. Just not physically, in the physical sense. The guys' bodies are just incredible. The females are just so strong and. They don't stop. They don't have any breaks. They just they're like robots. And then mentally, when you want to give up, they want to go on.
Do they still compete? Are they still kind of competing?
No, they've all retired now.
Right,
Okay. So they don't compete anymore. But I think that's what they maybe miss, and this is their way of It's
a nice way for them to kind of carry it on, isn't it?
Yeah.
having to give it.
And they've all been, you know, you look at somebody like Katia, Neil, Nadia, you know, in the ballroom and Latin world. Not that I'm an expert, but they're world champions. They are the best of the best in the world. You know, I guess Anton in his day as well. Ali Ash, Jeanette's come from a contemporary background, street dancer. She's not been on those circuits, but in their own kind of divisions, they've all been at the top of the game. Ulti, you know, in South Africa and in Germany as well. So I learnt a lot about the industry. I was fascinated by ballroom dancing, by Ulti's story, the fact that she went to Germany. Why did she go to Germany? Was because in Germany it's considered like a national sport, so there's a lot of help with the government and to finance it. So it was fascinating. I think, you know, when my kids get of an age, I'd love to take them dancing, because it's great discipline, great fitness, great way to meet people.
Confidence.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, I always said it. Being an actor, it's not just because it's really good for your social skills and your confidence, and you know, a kid with confidence is a kid that's going to excel whatever he or she does. Yeah,
such a good skill to have, and like you said, making friends as well.
Yeah.
Right, so let's have a look. See what other questions coming.
They've all been pretty tame, these questions.
I know they have.
You're a polite bunch, aren't you? I was expecting all sorts.
Right, what are your rally ambitions, and who are your driving heroes? That's a good one.
I guess my ambitions for racing, to rally actually, I wouldn't mind doing a rally stage. So I do circuit racing, so rallying's kind of slightly different.
So is rally like the Colin McRae type?
Yeah, rallying's like Colin McRae. So you'd have a co-driver and it's a time trial. Whereas I'm racing with people really. So it's a different. And I'm on tarmac. They're on obviously mixed terrain. Yeah. So there's a slight difference in there. And obviously the cars are fundamentally different, but you're still in four wheels and you're going as fast as you can. So I guess that's the consistent. Colin McRae. Funny enough, I watched a documentary on him the other day. You know, a hugely iconic figure, and you know, I looked up to as a kid immensely. Nigel Mansell was a big figure back when F1 was exciting, and I guess for me, British touring cars a little bit closer to home was you know, Jason Plato, Steve Soper, Andy Rouse, John Cleland, all these kind of British touring car drivers were people I looked up to, and I got the chance to drive and race with them. Some of them in 2000 and. I think 2016 it was. I did half a season of touring cars. So yeah, I've still got many boxes to tick in the racing front. But every year I've surprised a lot of people, and I guess myself as well. You know, I set my stall quite early on in the year what I want to achieve, and I guess with the help of a lot of good sponsors I've had over the years, they've enabled me to do what I've done and, you know, keep progressing. Yeah.
So is that what you've been concentrating on this year since?
I've not actually raced this year, so we took a decision in the summer not to race because of the climate. Too much of an unknown. A lot of our corporates have experience, you know, so it's almost like having a box at Old Trafford and not being able to go and see a game. It's not really. So we felt as a team that we couldn't deliver on what was promised, so we decided to not race and pause the programme until next year. So we'll simply pick up in the new year. We were off to Portugal testing with Bentley.
Oh, nice.
And then in March time, I think the season starts, and we'll just resume. We'll you know, retain all of our commercial partners, and hopefully mums, dads, and that's a great thing about British GT and the championship that I raced in. It's domestic. We spend one week in Belgium once a year, but apart from that, all the rounds are in the UK. And we have anything from like 10 to 20,000 spectators at a race, so it's a real festival feeling. You know, families go there, camp out for the week. You should come along to a race.
No way, that sounds fun.
It's a great weekend, and
so all these things that you don't know about.
Well, you know, listen, I'll happily come. Bring the team. You know, some of the kids you guys help with the charity as well. You know, it'd be a great opportunity to come and.
It's that inspiring thing, like seeing something that they've maybe not been involved in before.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, just a great weekend of escapism. You know, we all need it in whatever capacity, whether it's, you know, a domain that you don't know much about, you've got no real interest in. You know, I can't encourage you enough to come and experience motor racing. The smell, the noise, the adrenaline, fairground rides.
Oh wow! Like the
You know,
full thing.
music. You get to camp out. Who doesn't love camping?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
regardless of the weather.
Yeah.
I love camping, getting your little tent. So
Yeah.
it's a great weekend, and that's very much our focus for the championship and us as a team.
Yeah.
That's our mantra. You know, we want to experience a great weekend. Yes, we want to win. We won a championship last year. We were crowned champions. We stepped up to a bigger
Nice.
class this year. So we wanted to carry that momentum on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we've not. You know, we didn't race this year.
Yeah.
So instead, I commentated.
Oh, okay.
So our series is televised.
Right.
So rather than be a competitor and a racer,
Yeah.
I was the other side. So I had the microphone, and I was doing your job. So I was interviewing the drivers this
Right.
year.
How was that?
It was great, and the highlight was last weekend. Was the last race was at Silverstone, and Sky Sports. It was live on Sky Sports, and Jenson Button came to race.
Oh, wow.
So he's obviously retired from F1, and he
Okay.
came to race in our championship. So I was
Oh.
interviewing Jenson, and so that was great. You know, a huge figure within the sport,
Yeah,
and you know, great ambassador, great role model for a lot of kids.
yeah.
And the championship represents a lot of diversity as well. You know, there's a few females in there. You know,
Nice.
whether many people know, but females at the minute in motorsport is prolific. You
Oh,
know.
really?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You know, they're now not just within their own championships, their own female championships, but
Mixed.
competing at mixed, yeah, and you
Nice.
know, and doing better than well. You know, competing at the front. So young and old, we've got older guys who are competing at a great level, and kids coming through. Girls coming through. So at the minute, you know, it's very buoyant.
Yeah.
And despite the current climate with the pandemic and whatnot, next year's looking pretty optimistic. So
Nice. Did you have any projects on this year aside from that have been put on hold, pushed back to next
yeah,
year?
a couple of things were shelved, you know, put on to next year. So I had a couple of dramas that were put on to next year.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be making my directorial debut next year as well.
Oh,
So I've always been
wow.
fascinated behind the camera.
Yeah.
So I've got a chance to do that, and
Oh.
so yeah, there's been a lot of Zoom calls this year.
Oh, tell me about it.
If I hear the name Zoom one more time, I should tap them up for sponsorship. I've talked about them that much, but yeah, there's been a lot of development work.
Yeah.
As a creative, you know, as a director or writer. So me and my wife have wrote our own drama. that we're in talks with at the minute. Yeah, so we've been as proactive as we can, as productive as we can.
Yeah.
During the lockdown.
Yeah.
But I've just finished filming 2 dramas. So I finished Death in Paradise for BBC.
wow.
So I filmed in the Caribbean for a few weeks.
Oh, nice.
So that was an amazing job to book. I think September I filmed that.
Oh, incredible.
So we've just come out of like the initial lockdown,
Yeah.
and then my agent rang up and says, "Would you like to go to the Caribbean and film?" And I thought it was like, you know, what is this a
Is
stitch
there somewhere
up?
called
Yeah,
Caribbean in Barnet?
Blackpool or the Caribbean? No, the Caribbean. So I filmed with Jason Manford, Femi Kivia, Laura. You know, there was a great mix of cast.
Yeah.
The crew were great. The director was amazing. And I think that airs in January, so
Brilliant.
yeah, look out for that.
Nice.
And then the other drama I did, I think, is airing in the new year.
Oh, so you've
So I
done
guess
some stuff then.
I've
You've
done,
been
been pretty busy, but my priority at the minute is school runs,
Yeah.
nappies,
Yeah.
you know,
Keeping the kids entertained.
homeschooling.
Yeah. How was that?
I mean, hats off to teachers because I don't know how they do it.
I know.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. The amount of.
I didn't realise how
Parents.
bad I was at spelling. It's bad when your 4-year-old can spell a word that you can't. Do you know what I mean? So
I always think that about maths. When people are telling me what maths their kids are doing, I'm
yeah,
like, not a chance.
I know.
Not a chance.
Just get the old calculator out and then crack on, you know the answer. So homeschooling was a challenge, but you know, I guess it's moments like that you know, really kind of, not that we needed to, but brought us together as a family.
Yeah,
You know,
and
so
this will hopefully never happen again. So it's been a real experience just to be at home with people and like with your family and do that you would never have done before.
exactly. Yeah, there's been some huge highs, but some massive lows as well. That personally we've not. You know, there's been certain projects that have sadly not, you know, ceased and been paused or put onto next year.
Yeah.
But you know, I've still got my health, you know, and at the end of the day, so whatever career projects I might have missed out on, then I'm not, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. But
Exactly. Good
you know,
attitude.
yeah, I guess look for hopefully new year.
Yes. Right, we've got 3 minutes till the next game, so get your tickets in.
Buy your tickets, guys. Buy your tickets. Can I buy a
Kelvin,
ticket?
you come across as such a good guy. That's one
Oh,
of the
do I?
nice comments. That's
Well, I'm a good
nice,
actor,
isn't
aren't
it? Yeah. If you had to choose between one or the other,
Who said that? Was that my mum?
would Would it be acting or motorsport? Which one would you choose if you had to?
Acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think acting.
Because there's so much you could play a motorsport guy if you're doing acting.
Yeah,
can't you?
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, the feeling of I've won a race and I've kind of done a really good take of a scene, and the executing a scene, doing a scene, and just getting it just right, getting the performance, capturing it, working with a colleague, you know, and their performance, and you're able to capture it. The camera guys have got it, and everyone's just, all our departments have all come together at the right time and created, you know, it sounds stupid, but created that magic.
Yeah.
That feeling still overrides anything, really.
Yeah.
So as an actor, I'm still learning, still very much on a journey, you know. Yes, I was in one job for many years, but I feel like I've got a lot more to give, you know, whether that's with different characters or, like I said, different genres, different platforms.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, is there a part that you think, oh, that I'd love to play that part?
I want to play a baddie. I'd love to play a really nasty character.
Really?
Because that's that would be a challenge.
Yeah. Because you're such a nice guy.
Well, yeah, maybe I'm tapping into a deeper demon there. I don't know, but I think, I played a character about 2 years ago in a pilot that we shot up in Scotland, and I played a gay character, and that's something I'd never done before, and sexuality-wise, that's not the way I'm personally inclined, so that was somewhat represented a challenge.
Yeah.
And that was a good opportunity to pick up the phone and speak to some of my gay mates and say, I've got this scene, I'll be kissing a guy. I was that, and it's different, but I embraced it and it was great, and so things like that I'd love to explore more, and those sort of challenges and passes to explore and playing other characters is what I kind of relish, really.
That's what I always think about acting, so you can get to learn about so many different things. Because I guess when you get a character, you'll learn their backstory, whatever they do, whatever profession they do. So you get that little insight into so many different worlds just by doing that job. So, yeah.
Would you fancy acting yourself?
I would quite like it,
You should give it a go. I always say to people, anybody can act, anybody can do it.
Yeah, my mum and my sister do a bit of Amdram. They love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
love
it.
You should
and
do
I
it.
did when I was a kid, like in pantomimes and stuff like that. And it is that thrill of the night and then having come off stage at the end.
Oh, that buzz.
It's the best.
Well, theatre is like nothing is kind of like that.
Have you done theatre?
I've done theatre, yeah. Not really for years, really. I wrote a comedy sketch with a mate of mine 10 years ago. We took it to the Edinburgh Fringe and we toured with that a bit, and we took it to a couple of theatres. But the buzz we got every night was just like insane, such a good feeling. And that instant reaction from the audience you don't get on TV, it's somewhat, not sterile, but it's...
Yeah, what's that like actually when you're doing scenes that are really dramatic? Do the crew kind of react to it afterwards, obviously when the scene's cut, or is it not really?
Not really, I guess there's a professionalism, but I won't expect that anyone else would adhere to I'll go offset myself and sort myself out. I don't expect everybody else to adhere to my way of doing things. They've got their own stuff to be doing, and I don't want to encroach on them. So, but I think when you're on those sort of sets, I've done it before where you've done a scene and then afterwards, 20 minutes later, one of the sparks or the chippies have come over and, hey, bloody good scene that, lad. And that feeling is like, it means, the director might say, oh, lovely. But when you've got one of the electricians come over and say, you think you're never really that bothered about, he just sat on his lamp. But, the odd occasion that they come over and congratulate you, it honestly really, means a lot. So,
I bet.
So yeah, it's a good feeling.
Nice. Oh, we've got another question here. If you got, hang on a minute. Oh, we've just had 2 winners, Full House winners, right?
Full House.
So I think that means that the next game is the last game. So this is the one with the iPad up for grabs, plus your 50 quid. So get your tickets in and your final questions. So we've got one here. If you got the choice between a role in the next Mission Impossible film or the lead in a West End show, which would you choose?
Mission Impossible.
Mission
Impossible film.
That's like iconic.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I guess any big film like that, those sort of like action hero type stuff is visually great. Story wise and narrative wise, and challenges a emotive actor, you know, it might not bring the same challenge in that sense, but visually they look great and they must be exciting to be a part of. Fantasy drama, you know, on the back of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I'd love to kind of explore that, and I feel like I guess there's a lot of things I watch and think, oh, I'd quite like to do that. I think I'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Me thinking I'd be good at something and getting a job is two very different things, you know. So that's something I'm
not confidence.
No, I believe in myself. I back myself.
Yeah.
You know, even when other people don't. But that's just, I think we all have to do that because, well, my mum and dad always tell me, you know, if you don't back yourself, no one else will. You know, so my biggest backer, is me. Yeah. And, you know, closely followed by my brother, you know, my wife and my kids, and well, I think my kids believe in me. They're only 2 and 4, so maybe they don't. But yeah, I think a film would override a West End musical. I think. Yeah.
Nice. Can you do your best bingo caller impression? There we go. What was your favourite number to call out? The numbers. I don't even know them. 2 fat ladies. 2.
I think when I used to call it, it would have been post 97 pre, so it would have been Tony's Den number 10 for Downing Street.
Nice.
They were all, what's the Brighton line? Is it 4 and 9? Or is it 5 and 9? The Brighton line?
No idea. Is that a train reference?
Yeah, there were loads of Kelly's Eye number 2. No, Kelly's Eye number 1 is it? Little duck on its own, quack.
You're gonna have to practice.
And then when someone said, he said, "Thank you, quackers." I had my own little thing here. This is what we used to do. Thank you, quackers. It doesn't happen much in the bingo halls now, but when we're playing it as a family, there's certain names that you have to.
Do you reckon it's more serious now in the bingo halls?
It probably, They don't. I don't think they allow you to
mess about.
Yeah. Legs 11. You probably can't say that now because it would offend somebody.
Or 2 fat ladies.
Or 2 fat ladies. 8. Yeah. But,
would you like to do a Dickens drama?
Yes, absolutely. All period type stuff is again visually great. But yeah, absolutely, I'd love to do anything. I shot a World War II film last year,
nice.
and I had a little. I know I've got a moustache. You know,
I know. Yeah, I should have referenced. Is this Movember? Or no,
yeah, it started out as November, and then I had to do a tape for something else where I had to have a moustache. So, but yeah, period stuff is a chance to kind of look very different.
Yeah.
So I'd very much love to do something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
They do a lot of filming in Manchester for period stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. I've seen a bit going on at the moment actually, which is always good to hear.
I'll have to hang around and see if I can get myself a part.
Just lurk in the background.
Yeah, I'll be a walk-on. I don't mind. I've been a walk-on before.
Have you?
Yeah, loads of times as a kid. Yeah.
See, that's what I'd quite like to do, just to be on the set and just be in it.
It's a good day out.
When they were filming Captain America in Manchester, it was right outside where I used to live. So you'd walk through the set to get into my flat. Yeah. And it was just so cool being on that set, and they transformed the streets, and it was just got that feeling of what it'd be like. A little bit what it'd be like to be in that and acting and doing it. Yeah,
it'd be a long hours and a lot of first positions, back again and again. But you know, there's no denying there's a real buzz about that. Being on set. I guess even similar to this, you know, obviously the guys at home can't see, but the lights and the setup and the cameras. Yeah. You know, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's such a great industry and so many different roles in it as well. Nice. Right, let's see. Any more questions coming in? Let me see if I've got any that I haven't asked on my...
What have you been watching during the lockdown? Have you been watching anything?
So much TV. I've never watched as much TV. Well, just like Netflix and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. I loved Tiger King. Well, see, I'm a big have you ever watched the Real Housewives of like New York?
Right, no.
It's trash.
They're really popular, aren't they?
Yeah. I love it. I can do a season in like a weekend.
Oh right, okay, wow.
Serious.
So what's the best country? What's the best district? What's the most interesting?
My favourite is New York. Right. They're everywhere now. There's one in Cheshire. So there's one round here.
Real Housewives of Cheshire. Yeah.
But yeah, New York, Beverly Hills. It's
okay.
like escapism. You get to see into their lives, see what they're up to. It's all drama. Okay. It's trash, but I love it. Good,
absolutely, Each to their own, I'd say, you know. I'll have to look out for that. I like to watch things a little bit more serious, a bit more...
Well, I mean, there's some serious drama on it, to be fair, but no, I don't know if it'd be your thing. Let's see, is there anything else? You've got 2 minutes till the last game, so if you've not got your tickets,
buy your tickets.
Get your tickets now. Right. Oh, here was one that came in actually. So did your fan base grow after you'd done Strictly, because you were so many more people kind of watching you and different types of people maybe watching you?
Yeah, I think potential. I don't know how you kind of gauge it. A lot of people in the street would stop me and say, you know, I saw you on Strictly, and you know, I've always been kind of stopped in the streets from Emmerdale. You know, 10 million people a night used to watch Emmerdale, and 10 million people a week watch Strictly. So it's similar and comparable. I don't know if it's the same audience or same demographic as such, but I'd certainly been used to being in the public eye in that sense. But you know, don't get me wrong, there's a massive surge, and you know, you take it in your stride really, because I don't really let it. I'm nothing special, you know. I did alright on the dancing show, but it's nice to get some good comments, but it's not really something I'd kind of go out looking for. So
one of the questions was, did you have any interesting fan requests in Strictly? Any weird messages coming through on your
weird messages? No, not really. I'm pretty. Everything's pretty good on social media front. Yeah. No one does letters anymore. No. You know, very rarely do I get letters sent to my agents. But
do you still get the odd one?
I still get the odd one, yeah. You know, but very infrequent now. You know, it's not common at all. But social media, I guess, is the go-to as a platform. So I've got a Twitter and an Instagram, and you know, sometimes you check there and people send you messages, and 95% of the time, excuse me, it's you know, it's positive, and it's nice. So you know, you just it's a great way to interact with people and give them an insight as to what you're doing, whether it's and I always try and give an honest, you know, perception of what I'm doing. You know, you see some accounts and it just was like, I mean, that is not attainable. You know, what is, you know, for me, there's great stuff in my life when I'm lucky enough to go car racing and show these amazing cars, and there's stuff with my family, and there's stuff when I'm, you know, I'm not lucky. You know, I am what I am, and so I try and give a bit of a varied insight, if you like, and I'm always conscious that there'll be somebody, unfortunately, watching that, seeing that that's not quite in the same position. So you know, I always try and be mindful of that, and at the same time, someone likes that sense of escapism. They want to see what you're up to, but at the same time, you know, unfortunately, somebody might be in a bit of a poor situation, and you flaunting that you've just won Strictly or whatever might not be, you know. So it's that balance, isn't it? But all I can ever be is, I guess, myself, and you know, if people want to follow and have a look in my life, then great. If they don't, I don't know how many followers I've got, so I don't really count in that sense. Meeting somebody in the petrol station is far nicer than someone, you know, meeting someone face to face and I'm saying and having that interaction is still, you know, the top trump really than any kind of social media. Yes.
Right. Let's have a look. Last game's going. So you can watch it now, so you can see what's happening.
Oh right, yeah, I'll have a look.
So this is how it works online. So it's a bit different to your normal game, but
we've got 20p credit. Can we? I've clicked.
You can if you want. I know. I don't think you can.
Oh, I missed it.
No, I don't think you can.
All
because the game's already going.
So it'll automatically come up. So have you got tickets there? No.
These might be Tom's tickets. I don't know.
Has the host not even got a ticket?
Don't spend all the money, mate.
Well, we sat here telling people to buy tickets and we've not even got tickets ourselves.
I'm not allowed
Come
to
on,
win.
guys.
It wouldn't look any good.
Well, I'm going to win. I want to win the iPad.
Oh, there we go. We've got. So that's our final winner.
Oh wow.
So it's gone.
Hell Shape 7 was it? I don't know.
Well, there you go. You've won. Oh, have we got another game? No, we've not got another game, have we? I don't think so. I think that's
I have 28 tickets, Gainer said. Gainer 1979, you have 28 tickets.
Aww.
Well, thank you for participating.
Well done, Gainer.
Raised a lot of money there. Thank you. Hopefully you've had a winner amongst that as well.
I can't work out if that was the last game or not, because it's still going. I'm a bit confused. So we'll just keep chatting.
I don't mind. We'll keep chatting away. I don't mind.
Congrats, Full House winners. You've all been very nice in the chat. That's good to see. friendly.
Yeah, very friendly. Yeah, big
friendly
bingo players are friendly.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah, I like it. Right, let's see if there's any questions that I've missed on here. Yeah, there was lots of questions about your glitter ball, but we've
Was
covered
there?
that. Yeah.
2 glitter balls. I've got 2.
So
Because
why have
I've got
you
the tall one as
because
well.
you got
So.
the tall one, yeah.
And the tall one's actually bigger.
Oh, really?
So the TV
well, I guess
one
you
is-
did more for that.
The TV is only quite small like this.
Yeah. Has it got your name on it?
No, there's no name on it. No.
Mm.
So the one that you actually lift up on the TV show and it's on Craig's desk is just a pretend one.
Oh, right.
The one you actually get, so you lift up this giant trophy,
Yeah,
and then
'cause
they're
it
like,
looks-
"Oh no, bring it back," and they give you this miniature version. You're like, "What is that? It?" And honestly, it's that big.
No way.
And then on the tour is a direct replica of the proper TV one. So the
Right.
tour one is
Wonder
a
why they
big
do
one. I don't
that.
know why that is.
Was
yeah.
it heavy? No.
No, it's pretty light actually.
Yeah,
The
looks
base
quite
is
light.
quite solid, but then the top I think is just polystyrene. But
TV.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. So we've got 2 extra bonus games donated to us by Mr. Q. There we go. I was thinking, I had it all worked out, and then it threw me. I was like, what's going on? But it's fine. So that brings us to the end of our show then. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to you, Kelvin, for coming along. I know you've had a very busy day, busy week. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everybody at home for playing. And hopefully, I've not distracted you too much from the game and bored you. But no, it's always nice to kind of share my experiences with everyone. So yeah, thank you for playing, and yeah,
Thank
well
you.
done to the winners.
And then a big thank you to everyone that played along. Your donations will go straight to helping the vulnerable children that we support, so you can feel great about yourself. Huge thank you to STM Group for sponsoring, and to AIM Tech, and of course to Mr. Q for donating the room for free so that all your money can be donated. So that's all from us. Thank you for joining us, and have a lovely evening.